What's going on, everybody? My name is Noah, and this is my 2025 Valorant routine. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a streamer and content creator, but some people know me as an aimer in the Valorant community. You might have seen some of these clips. Starting off, I just want to talk about what it means to warm up in Valorant, outside of Valorant 2. Basically means just to improve on the small stuff that you need help with, and also being consistent. When you're at a higher level, there's not much you can improve on, not as much as being at a lower level, so being consistent is what it's about. When I'm in the range and I'm feeling good, first thing I focus on is just putting on the practice spots and just feeling good. So taking your time and getting kills. This is not something that's too demanding. You kind of just feel it out. Switch up your angle, switch up your movement. So for some of you, it might look different. But I'm just practicing getting a feel for hitting the target. That's what this is mainly about. Mainly what I'm focusing on is moving back and forth. So holding down my A key and shooting, holding down my D key, shooting, holding down my A key, shooting, holding down my D key. So I'm strafing back and forth and I'm shooting. And then obviously at different levels, it'll look different. That's mainly when I would do this for about, I try to do this for about 5 minutes. It doesn't take up too much time, but it just helps you get a feel for everything that's to come. After this, I usually work on my click timing. So what I do is I press F3 right here and we go to strafe bots and we turn on strafe bots and then we eliminate bots on like a side. So if we're going to practice on the left side, we eliminate all the bots on the left side. Now we have 2 bots on this side. So in these 2 bots, I practice my click timing. Now, how do I do that? I sit back here and I wait for the bot to strafe into my crosshair and then I line up my shot. And obviously it's gonna be hard for many of you at first, but still hard for me now. It's a good way to practice the speed of the bot. It's something you have to get used to. So I just focus on matching the speed of the strafe with the bot, practice my click timing. I think this is very important. Obviously, everyone's going to be doing this at their own level, but for me, this is what it looks like. Now, I take my time with that, and I can do as long as I feel comfortable. Usually, I'll end up doing around 20 minutes of that, maybe less, depending on how I'm feeling. Next thing I do after that is I like to practice my long range gunfights, which you don't usually see it that much nowadays in game, but I think it's good to have this level of precision mastered, especially when going, or this level of precision practice when going into a game, not mastered. So I practicing precision. We come back to the pole at the back of the range and we do micro strafe. So we're strafing like this, but we're still practicing the same technique from the beginning. Now this is something I could sit here and turn on music and really focus and practice for around 30 minutes. Obviously, for some of you, that's not ideal, but I have done that many times, especially when I was focusing on improving as much as I could. That's definitely something I have done. Another thing I'll do in the range, especially if I want to get more, if I really want to round out my game and focus on every little thing I can, I'll come into closer to the bots and I'll practice spray transferring, which is when you're shooting your weapon and then you move it to another target. So for me, it'll look like this. And obviously you can do this many different ways with many different weapons, but I like to do it with Vandal primarily because the spray transfer on the Vandal is more difficult. And obviously if you're trying to improve at a higher rate, you could just speed it up more. It's going to be less accurate. I don't like to do that for too long, but I will do, if I really want to round out my game, I will do that for around 5 minutes. It's something very simple that is It's also fun. It's not something that's boring. I like to just have my routine based around fun things. You wouldn't want to warm up and practice and just be completely boring. You want to have some skill and some competitiveness, but also be very enjoyable. So that's why I try to base my routine around. Another thing I'll do is, instead of coming back here and practicing your A and D strafe with the first thing I always do when I get in the range, I come closer and I practice it on a smaller scale. So instead of full strafing, I usually just like micro strafe, which is just strafing on a smaller scale. So it's like a little bit of movement, and you can also tap in a crouch or two. So this is not full strafing as in like this and taking your time. This is more about just being unable for the enemy to hit you. So this is practicing when you're out here. This is practicing your micro adjustments, your movement. This is more practicing dodging enemy bullets, while also like a reaction time based thing. Because you're moving so fast and you're trying to dodge the bullets while also like multi-killing. This is what this simulates. So this is, although it looks the same, it's also a different exercise. There's a different reason for me doing this than doing that. That wraps up my routine in the range. There's also deathmatch and team deathmatch, but that's kind of on a player-to-player basis. What I'm more focusing on is something generalized. So obviously in the range, and now moving on to Kovaaks. So this is where we get into my Kovaaks routine. This is my first time really aim training, so I made this playlist specifically for people who want to aim like myself. And I recommend everyone in the video who has Kovaaks or wants to improve on their aim, download it.